Hi, my name is Izzy. I am a new Ruby ambassador with Plexus. I wanted to make this training video for anybody if you are somebody who is sitting at gold and working towards senior gold. Um, I wanted to make this video to help you get there. I hit senior gold the beginning of this year around March, so I'm sharing all the tips and tricks that I have for you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Gonna take a minute to pop. There we go. Okay, going for senior gold. That is 250 pay points. Now, the jump between gold and senior gold is a pretty big one. Okay, it might take some time, but don't get discouraged. It is a big jump. So this is, I'm sure you've seen the graphics before. These are very important graphics. This is kind of like a way to get there, knowing the points, and then knowing what points you need for all the ranks. I'm sure you've seen these before. Okay, so it's the same thing as getting to gold. So we're going to each month, we're going to help three friends get started. We're going to try to create a silver. We're going to funnel people, educate them, and build their belief. Now, in order to go senior gold, you cannot get to senior gold alone. You cannot maintain senior gold alone. Trust me when I tell you, you may have gotten to gold by yourself, which is great. That's not uncommon. A lot of people get to gold. It's about 17 to 20 customers. They get there by themselves. In order to jump to 250 points, you can't do it alone and you cannot maintain it alone. This is the time where you need other business builders to help get you there. Okay. So you do not find leaders, you create them. And that is something that's so important as a senior gold, really knowing how to create leaders. Okay. The secret to creating leaders. Are you ready for this? It's a big one. Being a friend, imagine that, building that relationship and trust. When you are a consistent, steady friend in people's lives, they trust you. Okay. When you have somebody coming to you and asking for help, and when you just show up with that love and that support, no matter what it is, when you're friendly and you have those conversations that aren't just about Plexus, but just life. Okay. But they always see you there. You're always consistent. They always see you showing up, taking your products, and you're steady and you're calm and you have it all figured out. Okay. They trust you. So when I have people come to me and they want to get started on the products, because I've built that relationship with them and they trust me to not only find the products that are going to work for them, but when I say, hey, do you have anybody that would do this with you? You should grab them. They'll do it because they trust me. Okay. They know I'm not going to steer them wrong or set them up and scam them or do anything crazy. Okay, so in order to create leaders, as a senior silver, you either need two golds and one senior gold, or one gold and three senior silvers. There's multiple ways to do this, but they all include creating leaders. I don't care if you have a bunch of little silvers, senior silvers, golds, whatever it is. It doesn't matter, but you need other people doing this with you to help get you there. You cannot do it alone, okay? Okay, as a senior gold, you have to, one, help your leaders create other leaders. So you're not just focusing on your level ones, the people you help. When you have a level one, if you want them to go gold, you don't want them to do it by themselves. Maybe you did, and that's fine, but you don't want that to be the norm. So you want to help them create other leaders as well. Okay. And You always want to be creating level one leaders. So if you have somebody, if you have a couple people, if you have a couple golds on your team, you don't want to pour into them too much. You don't want to put all your eggs in that basket. You want to create strong, independent leaders. That's the other important part. When creating leaders, you want to make sure they are independent. So you've given them all the tools for them to go out and create their leaders. Okay. You don't want them to you don't want to always have to be checking in on them and telling them what to do and making sure they're doing this. In the beginning, yes, that is stuff that you need to do. But once they figured it out and have learned it, you want to be able to let them spread their wings and fly. And you want to be creating other leaders. You want to always be creating silvers, okay? Okay, so as a senior gold, it is so important to know the business. You need to know the back office reports. You need to know how to read them, what they are, where to find the information. Okay. The fast start reports, you need to make sure you know where that is and what that is. So when you have somebody on your team that's about to hit their fast start date, you can let them know, because if you don't let them know, then you're making them miss out on earning money. Okay. You have to understand the points and ranks, and you need to know the Plexus math. When there is anything going on, you need to understand if somebody's trying to hit their next goal or if they're trying to maybe earn leaders retreat. You have to understand how to truly get them there. Okay. Not just cheer them on and like, yeah, you got it. You're doing great. No, giving them a step by step of like, okay, you need to add this many new people. You need to create this many silvers. You need to retain this many customers in order to get them to their next goal. That is what a strong leader does. Okay. And when you are a strong leader, you can create other strong leaders. When they see you, well, Izzy has been giving me a breakdown of exactly what I need to do. So I want to do that for my people. I want to be able to give them a breakdown of exactly what they need to do. Okay. So, in the beginning, not only are you tracking your own business, but you're also tracking your leader's business until they learn it themselves. So, you're in their back office. When you log into your own back office, you can see their points and all their things. You want to make sure you're checking on to see where they're at and what they're doing so you can help create those strong leaders. Okay. Okay, with knowing the business, you also want to know the business process. You have to know when you add a new VIP, what do you do? When you have somebody add a plus one, what do you do? When you have somebody go silver or beyond, what do you do? There is a step-by-step process for everything. And if you are gold, which you probably are if you're watching this, you should know the process. You need to make sure you know it, you need to be following it, and you need to be teaching it to others. Everything is in the getting started boards. At this point, I hope you know what the getting started board is, and I hope you have it. And I hope if you have a business builder on your team that they also have it. One thing that I started doing that I really enjoyed, that I do really enjoy, is when I have somebody on my team, when they hit silver, I like to have a one on one Zoom with them. And that is when I give them all the information. I have a PowerPoint created for them and I go over all the things. And one of the things is giving them the getting started board and saying, here, you've hit your first rank. Congratulations. You've been promoted. Now, here are the resources you need to grow beyond that. Okay. And they should know. That is kind of when I go over, all right, you've added a plus one. All the people, all three people that you've added, now you need to add them here and you need to make sure you put when their subscription runs in and you need to make sure you tag them in this post, all the things. And this is something that you should know as a gold, but you for sure need to know when going to senior gold and beyond. Okay. The other thing that is so important in growing a strong team of people is making sure you're staying plugged in, okay? Making sure you're on the corporate calls, inviting people to the corporate calls. There's power hours that corporate puts on that are so good. I love doing those and inviting my team to do them with me. Team Zooms, of course, our team Zoom is every Thursday at 8 o'clock. At this point, it should be a priority to make sure you're there so you don't miss out on anything, especially if you're trying to grow beyond gold. Okay. Team chats, that's another thing to be a part of, making sure you're in there, letting your team know what's going on and helping them, cheering them on. And that is not something that you can just pop in every once in a while when you got time and pop in and be like, hey, good job, that's awesome, and then disappear on. No, you always want to show your team that you are there and you are available. Now, there are times where I step away on the weekend. Sometimes I step away, but this business does not take much. So it should not be hard for you to be available when your team needs you because it's not like they need you 24/7. Okay. You also want to know what's happening when. You want to know the sales, the promotion, the contest, and you want to make sure you have a good understanding of them. Oh, there's a sale going on. They need to use this code or it applies automatically. Oh, there's this promotion going on until this date. It ends on this date. Oh, there's this contest going on and this is what they need to get there. You need to have an understanding. It goes back to understanding the business. You have to know what's going on when. That is so important as a leader with a team under you. And the last thing that is so important if you want to go senior gold and beyond is always growing and learning. The book, Riches by Amanda Francis. Such a good book. It's actually the whole audiobook is on YouTube. So you don't got to read it, you can listen to it. So good. And then Bob Helig, I love my bestie Bob, okay? He actually the first training that I had ever done was with him and I enjoyed it so much. He has a podcast. The Network Marketing School is a great podcast. They're like 15-minute episodes, super short, but so helpful. Ambition Coalition, that is actually two Plexus girlies. I've met them, they know me. And I love listening to them and their podcast. Christina Williams is another Plexus Diamond. She has all of her like Team Zooms trainings available on Facebook. She was one of the first Plexus ambassadors that I really started listening to her trainings. And then, of course, corporate always does, always has some type of training available or video, whatever. And then Bob and Ambition Coalition, I've done both of their trainings. So good. Ambition Coalition, I really enjoy their trainings. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for. They're not very much, but because they are two Plexus Diamonds who have created an awesome team, it's really nice to follow because like you're learning the things to do with Plexus specifically. Bob does like network marketing in general, but this Ambition Coalition is very targeted towards Plexus. So those were some of my favorites. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Those were some of my favorites. I hope all of that was helpful, and I hope this helps you grow past gold and get to senior gold and beyond.